Welcome to the Walk-Ons. I'm Trent Donald. This is John Watson, special guest today, Mr. Roger Hoover in the house. Is that right?
That's right. Good to be with you guys. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Oh, well.
So, Roger, we're all college students here, and with you, what was your journey like from college to where you are now at the SEC Network?
Well, it was a journey that really started from even before I went to the University of Tennessee. I really got as dug in and really invested in University of Tennessee athletics from before the time I started going to classes. As I was lucky, I was able to work as the internet video reporter for Tennessee athletics, and that started with football practice in the month of August, getting ready for my freshman year of school. So it was kind of daily practice reports, interviewing Coach Fulmer after practice, and putting that up on the website, which back in the fall of 2006 was a very tough process compared to what it is now, just getting a video from your phone right to YouTube. It took us almost 2 hours to do something that now takes about 2 minutes. So it was kind of learning. Those building blocks were pretty big there, and then also did play-by-play of Tennessee women's volleyball, soccer, and those were just single camera shoots with just one microphone or a headset, and really learned how to do everything. I was the director, I was the producer, play-by-play announcer, color, you name it. I was kind of a one-man band for a lot of those games, and that was my first bit of play-by-play. And then from there, just kept building and did audio reports, did podcasts, did some TV reports, and kind of learned how to be on camera, learn how to have that presence. And that really all helped me out as I just kept going along and kept adding as I went through college. And traditional media stations, so TVC News, I was a news anchor there, sports anchor, sometimes did some sports talk on the local college station as well, so kind of learned how to do that. And then just my main goal has always been to do play-by-play, and really got invested there, not only with the volleyball and soccer that I mentioned, but the summer in between my junior and senior year, I was able to, or actually the sophomore to junior year, I was able to be the broadcaster for the Kingsport Mets, the rookie league affiliate of the New York Mets, and that was in my hometown of Kingsport, Tennessee. So getting to broadcast baseball in the Appalachian League, about 60 games I did, was a really good welcome to what it could be like to be a professional baseball announcer. From there, was lucky that Knoxville has a AA team in its market, the Tennessee Smokies, AA team of the Cubs, was there as an assistant for a few years and got some more mic experience, and learned also how to be a media relations manager for a baseball team. And that was huge because that led me right to Jacksonville, where I had to be not only the radio play-by-play broadcaster for, at the time, the Suns, but also handle all the media relations and make sure we had a good television broadcast. Just so many things were part of that job, and I was really lucky that my college experience at Tennessee gave me exposure to all of those different things in that time, and just learned how to grow and go from there. And I had a great 8-year run in Jacksonville, and with that, in the off seasons, I was always do college sports announcing. I started at a Division III school, Maryville College, did football, men's, women's basketball on a video cast, then went to a Division II school, Carson Newman University in Jefferson City, Tennessee, and was a radio broadcaster for them. And from there, got the lucky break to go to the University of Alabama and start calling women's basketball for the Crimson Tide. And with that, the SEC Network Plus launched the same year that I got to Alabama. So I was picking up games with Tennessee and Alabama, both basketball, baseball, softball. I've done a lot of soccer and volleyball as well on that platform. And just over the past year, that really grew. My role really grew at the University of Alabama. I got to fill in on the football broadcasts as the pre and post game host, men's basketball play-by-play for the first bit of the year while a normal announcer was out with an illness, and just recently made the move to Tuscaloosa full time and really devote myself to the Crimson Tide Sports Network and do a lot of social media things in addition to the play-by-play and pre and post game hosting that I've done, as well as kept up everything with the television work with the SEC Network Plus, and I added some ACC Network work as well with the Clemson Tigers this past year. So it's been a busy journey, but kind of all of those different steps that I mentioned help prepare me because you can never stop learning in this business. And I mentioned I've been going since the fall of 2006. I'm still learning things now that I wish I'd known then, but the only way you're going to know is just by keep showing up, keep saying yes to every assignment. It's certainly paid off.
So how important is staying involved in college? Like, how important was that, do you think, for your later career?
I think it was huge, and especially, I was able to go to a program like Tennessee that was on a very big stage in the SEC, but kind of with that, I got similar experience to what I imagine you guys got at UNF. I was one of the only students at the time that was really interested in play-by-play broadcasting, or really just doing a lot of on-air sports things. A lot of people would do some like local TV style reporting, but not really the dedicated network style reporting that I wanted to do, or play-by-play. So, for me, it was just throwing myself into everything. And that was, as I mentioned, I was the internet video reporter for the first 3 years I was there, then did some public address announcing. With that, I was just able to get access to every single program and kind of learn what sports I liked, learn what sports I didn't like as much, but you gain an appreciation for everything. And I think when coaches all around campus can see you working and see that you're passionate, that makes a huge difference in their eyes. And then they tell other coaches that, oh, if Roger's going to call your game, he's going to do a really professional job. Or if he's going to be the PA announcer, people are going to like hearing him. Or even if it's writing, I did a lot of sports writing as well for some local publications in Knoxville, plus on our website, and even our student website that we had at the time, Tennessee Journalist. I did some columns and things like that. I think it's good to just get as involved as you can and make sure people know you, and make sure you keep up a good reputation.
So you said that you like to do play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a favorite sport to do when you're doing play-by-play, like more animated sport, or something that's easier for you?
Yeah, I really love the big three in terms of football, basketball, and baseball. And I love them all for different reasons. So my favorite sport to prepare for is football, because I love making a big spotting board and getting ready really all week long, getting ready for one big game. And I haven't been a full-time play-by-play announcer for football in a few years, but kind of with my work at Alabama, I've done some demo play-by-play games. And then when I'm the host of the broadcast, I'm hosting about 2.5 hours of a 3-hour pregame show. So I prepare for it just as if I'm the play-by-play announcer with a board and really making sure I'm ready to go. So I love preparing for football. I love just everything you do from Monday up until kickoff, getting ready for that game. There's nothing like preparing for a football game. And then my favorite sport probably in the moments during the game is probably basketball, especially on radio, because it just flows so well. It's 5 against 5, and you learn the players pretty quickly in your head. So it's not like sometimes with football where you could be down in your chart seeing who number 87 is or anything like that. You just kind of know, and it's very quick when you know. So I love basketball. The court's very easy to describe. There's, you always have to say whether it's the right wing, the left wing, the right corner, left corner, down the right side of the lane, top of the key. It's very easy to picture in people's minds. So that's why I love basketball so much. And then baseball, I just love working in baseball. And it's kind of everything around the game I like. I love the games, definitely, but I just love kind of the casual intensity of baseball, where, it's a very slow game that gets fast in a hurry. That's fun when you're announcing the game, but just a lot of the little moments, like getting the lineup card at 1:30 or 2 o'clock and sitting down and talking with the manager. Why is he doing this? Or, who's available, who's not available. And then the game just unfolds. Baseball is my favorite sport overall. So I love getting to be a part of that and seeing how it unfolds over 9 innings. And especially with the job I had in Jacksonville, it was so much fun to be at the AA level, because that's the level where the prospects really have to play there to prove to the major league executives that they can play at the next level. Sometimes with organizations, AAA can kind of be like a holding cell for players that are good enough to be on the major league roster, but are just, they don't have the room for them just yet, or they're kind of older players and maybe their major league time has gone away, but they can still be in AAA. So at AA with Jacksonville, we always saw the best of the best right as they were peaking, and you knew big things were coming. And that's the same with the SEC and ACC baseball broadcast as well. On those different teams, you've got almost as many future major leaguers as we had sometimes at AA. So that's what really makes it fun. So I know it's not a clear-cut answer, but those are the reasons I like the 3 sports as much as I do.
And we saw Stone Garrett play last year, Roger, an incredible defender. Actually showed your calls at ESPN last year. What was it like for you to hear that for the first time?
It was pretty exciting. I've been lucky in my career to have a lot of plays that I've called that go on SportsCenter as a top player, number 1 play, but very rarely do you really hear my audio. Normally it's just kind of at the bottom, kind of background. The ESPN anchor is kind of describing the play in their own words, and sometimes getting our player's name wrong, or even the team name wrong. Sometimes, I know Jumbo Shrimp is always a big talking point anytime we make it on there. But for them to kind of play it separate was really cool, because, it was the second time in a week Stone Garrett had a number 1 play on SportsCenter going over the wall and making a catch. This time he completely went over the wall in left field. And it was just an incredible moment, not just for the catch itself, but it meant a lot in that course of that game we were playing. We were in a tough series where things hadn't really gone that well against Biloxi, and it was right around the time that Jumbo Shrimp were trying to make a surge in the second half of the season and win a division title. Ultimately, they would come up a little bit short, but it was a huge play in the moment, and it's a Friday night at the baseball grounds of Jacksonville, full house, and you love when moments like that happen in front of a lot of people, because the play the week before happened on a Monday afternoon where we didn't have a great crowd just because it was a day game. We had a lot of kids there early and they had left, and by the time he made the catch in the ninth inning, it was kind of an empty place. But in that catch that he made that made number one and got my call on there, packed house on a Friday night ready for fireworks early in the game, just had such good energy, and Stone really got it for what it was worth. And he's a guy that is easy to root for. He was already one of our favorites on the team before any of these crazy catches happened. So to have that happen, to him get the recognition, that's what meant everything to me. And anytime the Jumbo Shrimp brand went national, that meant so much for our front office, because that's more eyeballs going to jackshrimp.com, maybe ordering a hat, ordering a shirt that maybe they wouldn't have had before. But that extra little PR is always huge. That happened the year before as well, when a foul ball smashed my laptop, and the call of that kind of went viral as well, went on all the morning shows and things like that. So ultimately it was good for the Jumbo Shrimp bottom line, which is most important.
So you're in Tuscaloosa right now, right?
That's right. Yeah, I've been working full-time with the network, the Crimson Tide Sports Network, for about a month.
Yeah, how's it going with the Corona and all this stuff going on right now?
Yeah, it's been a little different, just in the fact that, the students aren't on campus, teams aren't on campus. So, we can't do some of the traditional, and we can't play the rest of the games we thought we would have. I had a pretty full slate of baseball and softball still left to go with Alabama, Tennessee, and Clemson, but all those games, kind of canceled in an instant. So it's been interesting to use Zoom. Like, we're doing a Zoom interview right now. I've been doing a lot of this with former Crimson Tide players. One of the things we've been doing on the radio is playing a classic football game every Saturday. And with that, on the Friday before that Saturday game, I'll take a player from that whatever game we're going to broadcast the next day and interview them on a Skype call just like this, and talk about the game, talk about the early days of the Nick Saban era. We've been playing all the greatest games from the Saban era. So it's been incredible to catch up with guys like Greg McElroy or Barrett Jones. I have Carson Tinker, who played for the Jaguars. I'll interview him tomorrow to talk about the 2012 LSU game. And then it's been catching up in a similar style with a lot of our head coaches and seeing how are they able to recruit. And if you're Alabama basketball, they've been recruiting at an elite level without being able to see players in person. It's learning about how the football team is kind of going through the process, guys getting ready for the draft. I interviewed a lot of players that were getting ready for the draft a couple weeks ago, and so it was kind of learning about their process. So I've been able to do a lot of unique things on Zoom calls, things like this, but it definitely doesn't compare to what we all love, and that's actual sports. But I think we're getting through the best we can, and the good thing is when you're at a school like Alabama with such a rich history to celebrate, it's easy to go back in the vault and find some good moments and have some good times.
I always ask fun questions, Roger. So with the Shrimp, what's your favorite promo in the past years with the Shrimp?
Favorite promo, because it was the most useful to me on bus rides, was our Jumbo Shrimp neck pillow giveaway that we had. It was a very comfortable neck pillow that, of course, looked like a big Jumbo Shrimp. And that was a hit. I don't know what it was. I think people in our staff had seen that before even our team name changed. And once we had the name change, they were like, look at this crazy shrimp pillow, that neck pillow. And it was so fun to not only get one of those, but then, from my vantage point in the booth, just looking down below and seeing all these neck pillows on these fans at a baseball game, you just don't expect to see. So I love crazy stuff like that. We've had so many unique bobbleheads. Our first year under Ken Babby ownership, we had a Derrick Henry bobblehead, but it was him in his Yulee high school uniform doing a Heisman pose. He had the dreadlocks and everything, and we actually were able to coordinate that night with him being there. And this was right after he won the Heisman Trophy, before he ever played a game with the Tennessee Titans. He had just been drafted. So that was one of my favorite nights too, because everything just kind of came together. We had a great group of Alabama fans that were there specifically for him. It seemed like all of Yulee County was there to celebrate that night with Derrick as well. So you love when everything comes together like that.
We also talk quarantine snacks. So, Roger, what's your top 3 quarantine snacks right now? What's came through today?
Oh, too much, honestly. Probably my go-to has been Cheez-Its, I would say. I'm a big Cheez-Its fan. Sometimes chips and salsa, just your regular Tostitos chips and salsa. But I've been trying to eliminate the snacking as much as possible. But I have not been eating at late after games. That has been the best thing for my health so far during the quarantine, because I was always guilty of grabbing a bite to eat after a late night game. So that's been keeping me somewhat healthy over this last month and a half.
Remember after the shrimp games, I used to drive past Whataburger to my apartment, so I was like, oh crap, like that burger this size of my head to eat that after the game.
That's
It adds
dangerous
up.
right there. Yeah,
It certainly does. So yeah, that's been one of the good things. But again, I'm like you guys. I want to get back to games and back to the fun that we all got into this business for.
We talked to Kelly Sacco from Marlins live, and she mentioned that kale chips were her snack for quarantine. We're like, interesting.
That is
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. I
don't know about that one. I'm sticking to my. I don't know about that one. Kale chips. Yeah. No, it's a no for me, Doc.
Roger, thank you though for your time today. I'm glad we got to talk to you about your career and how it's going so far.
All right, enjoyed it, guys. Keep up the great work and keep working hard. Look forward to seeing you all down the road.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, see you guys.